I spent 10 years chasing after the capital's most notorious stoic prince without success. In the end, I only managed to get engaged to him thanks to my status as an old money socialite. But after we moved in together, I tried to make a move on him 99 times. He wouldn't let me lay a single finger on him. After being rejected by Julian Lin for the 100th time, I decided to lock up my heart and go live my best single life abroad. I literally had one foot out the door when, suddenly, I heard his inner thoughts. Boo-hoo, I almost couldn't control myself just now. It's all wifey's fault for being so tempting. So annoying. Why do we have to wait until Valentine's Day to get the marriage license? I want to cuddle with wifey right now. I want to play naughty games with her all night long. No, no, no. Dad said men with no self-respect are like wilted lettuce, women will toss them out the moment they get bored. Why is wifey looking at me so coldly today? Did she find the stash of adult toys I secretly ordered? Ugh, wifey is so beautiful, she smells so good. Must hold back. Don't turn around. Don't make eye contact. Women like mature, elegant, career-driven men. I need wifey to think I'm a reliable business mogul. You have got to be kidding me. I was standing in the entryway with my suitcase, one foot already outside. I looked back in disbelief at the cold, aloof man inside. Julian Lin was wearing a perfectly tailored suit, a string of agarwood prayer beads on his wrist enhancing his aura of cold abstinence. He sat with his legs crossed, leaning lazily against the sofa, checking work messages. His long fingers tapped the screen as he presumably replied to employees. He didn't even spare me a glance. Did he really just say those things? I suspected I was hallucinating. Who is Julian Lin? He is the capital elite's most famous ascetic, a man known for his monk-like self-discipline. Back in school, he was born with broad shoulders, a narrow waist, and a noble brow. He carried an air of prohibition that made countless girls crave his face and his body. Among them, I was the richest, the most creative, and the most persistent. I chased him, on and off, for 10 years. Although I never got to touch him, when I asked my dad to arrange a commercial marriage alliance, Julian went with the flow and agreed. After the engagement, I immediately moved in, ready to devour him. But unexpectedly, despite living alone together, Julian kept his distance at all times. Every time I tried to touch him, he would subtly move away. No matter if I used aggressive or subtle methods to flirt, he remained unmoved, refusing to cross the line. Miss Chen, we are only engaged. Please have some self-respect. Julian lived like clockwork. Work, home. At home, he disciplined himself with workouts, chores, and cooking. It was as if I were just a breathing decoration in the house. I thought he didn't like me, that he hated me for obtaining him through a business deal, which was why he treated me so coldly. But now, Julian picked up a finance magazine from the coffee table, deliberately putting on gold-rimmed glasses. He pushed the frames up slightly with a long finger, revealing a stunning side profile. Wifey has been looking at me for a long time. I learned this outfit from those romance novels. It totally worked. She's mesmerized. Now she'll miss me even more when she goes on her business trip. Today is another day of successfully seducing wifey and mentally wagging my tail for her. I really want to take my clothes off and show wifey my newly toned 8-pack abs. Oh, but I'm so shy. I should wait until we get the license before letting wifey unwrap this exquisite gift. Whimper. My heart fluttered, then immediately flatlined. I didn't know how to describe my complex mood. But standing there wasn't solving anything. I stepped back inside, put down my luggage, and sat opposite Julian. Julian didn't even lift his eyelids. He asked coldly, "Aren't you going on a business trip? Why are you back?" Looking at the corners of his mouth, curved into their usual indifference, I had to suspect my brain was broken earlier. I made up a random excuse. I'm hungry. I'll go after breakfast. As soon as I said that, Julian tossed the magazine aside and went into the kitchen with a cold face. He looked like he didn't want to share a room with me for even a second. But 15 minutes later, Julian came out carrying fried eggs, sandwiches, cut fruit, and warm milk. He said casually, "I just whipped this up. Eat." But I burnt 80 eggs just to get this one perfect, beautiful egg for my perfect, beautiful wifey. Just like handsome me is a match for pretty wifey. To grab a woman's heart, you must first grab her stomach. I can dominate the boardroom and the kitchen. Wifey must be dying of love for me. Oh wait, my persona is career man. I need to quickly show off my ambition to salvage wifey's opinion of me. Sob. Cough, cough. I choked on the milk. Julian lifted his wrist, checking the time on his expensive watch. Take your time eating. I'm going to work. Julian stood up without hesitation. But at the door, he paused. I bit into a piece of fruit and asked, "What's wrong?" Surprisingly, he walked back, circled the kitchen, and picked up a takeout box from the corner. My employees work hard. I prepared breakfast for them in advance. Listen to yourself. Does that even make sense? I thought that was the end of it, but Julian opened the door and then walked back in again. He frowned, seemingly looking for something. Work is so annoying. I don't want to work. I want to stay home and cuddle with wifey. Usually, before I leave, wifey begs for a kiss. Why isn't she kissing me today? Why no kiss? Why isn't she kissing me? Don't you know why I'm not kissing you? Julian had been searching for half an hour and still hadn't found the file he needed. His dense stream of inner thoughts, "Wifey kiss me, hurry up and kiss me," was giving me tinnitus. But I sat frozen in my chair, unmoved. I remembered clearly that every time I tried to kiss him before work in the past, he would coldly push me away. "Oh, so you like playing hard to get?" Well, this lady isn't playing anymore. While I was in a standoff with Julian, the doorbell rang. It was Julian's secretary, Jessica. She was wearing a tight pencil skirt, looking tall and sharp. She automatically ignored me and spoke to Julian. "Director Lin, you have a work meeting today scheduled at the Dishing restaurant. Since you hadn't arrived at the company, I took the liberty of coming to your home to pick you up." I stood to the side and didn't speak. Soon, I heard his irritated inner voice. Damn it, so annoying. She knows she took the liberty, yet she still has that self-righteous look on her face. I said postpone the meeting, postpone it. Does she not understand human language? Is she deaf and blind? Did this woman get hired through nepotism? How dare she come to my house and disturb my precious alone time with wifey? I'm telling HR to fire her tomorrow. Oh right, HR is useless too. They hired a blind person. I'll transfer those idiots in HR to the branch in Alaska. Julian's smile froze on his lips, and he lowered his voice. We aren't discussing work today. You go back to the office first. Jessica shoved the file right into his face. Director Lin, this partnership is crucial. The partners have already arrived. How will it look if we're late? I couldn't help but frown slightly. Meeting a client without authorization and setting the time herself? Does a secretary have that much power? Jessica clearly had ulterior motives. But he couldn't get out of it. He had to go. Julian nearly crushed the prayer beads on his wrist. There was anger in his eyes, but he hid it well. On the surface, he just nodded. Fine. As she left, Jessica shot me a provocative look. Before I could react, Julian stopped walking, his gaze fixing on Jessica. In the past, I might have overthought this. I might have gotten jealous. But now. You damn pick-me girl. I saw you provoke my wifey in the mirror reflection just now. I really want to gouge your eyes out. Oh, so you're not blind now? Couldn't see the couple photo on my desk? You ask me every day at the office if I'm single when the whole company knows I have a fiancé. Are you the only one who can't see? Skirt so short, shirt so tight for work. Who dresses like that as a serious secretary? Obviously plotting against me. Wifey, rush over here and slap her. Warn her. Make her stay away from me. Wifey, why aren't you fighting back? Why aren't you saying anything? Wifey, call me back. If you just hook your finger or stomp your foot, I'll stay no matter what. Give me a reaction, wifey. Drama queen. Her eyelashes are thick enough to trap mosquitoes, and she's winking at me. So annoying. Wifey's natural lashes are the prettiest. And her little face, her waist. I really want to. The bitterness in my heart vanished instantly. However, thinking about how well Julian pretended, making me chase him and face rejection for so long, I naturally wasn't going to give him the reaction he wanted. He dawdled with a dark face for a while before reluctantly leaving. I could hear his tragic inner screams even after he was far away. Left alone in the house, everything felt surreal. It felt like punching cotton. I had planned to do something drastic regarding Julian, but now, before I could figure it out, I got a call. My mom wanted me to pick up my brother, who was returning from studying abroad. Because the flight was delayed, I didn't pick him up until 1 a.m. Not wanting to disturb Mom and Dad, I took Danny Chin back to my place. Just as we reached the door, it slowly opened. Julian looked indifferent. He tilted his head up slightly, saw Danny, lowered his gaze, but still opened the door. You're back. Where did you go so late? Danny, who never minded watching the world burn, draped his arm over my shoulder and smiled ambiguously. Sis, is this your boyfriend? He's pretty controlling. And looking at him. TSK, looks like he can't perform. You really won't consider trading him in? Crack. Did something just break? Trade? Trade? Trade for what? If you don't know how to speak, shut your mouth. Damn. They say every woman has a first love she never got over. This brat showing up with a suitcase, looking all dusty from travel. Is he the white moonlight wifey went abroad for years ago? Why does he look so young? Is she into younger guys now? What is wifey's taste? Does this kid have a waist like mine? Does he have abs? Does he have a successful career and chef-level cooking skills? I couldn't help but frown. I never knew his inner drama was this rich. Julian nodded slightly. He didn't ask about Danny's identity again. The three of us sat on the sofa staring at each other. I spoke first. Julian, this is. Danny cut me off before I could explain. Sis, flying for over 10 hours is exhausting. Can you get me a towel? I want to take a shower and have a good sleep. This brat used to call me by my name. Why is he sis today? Did he take the wrong meds? But I still subconsciously opened his suitcase to look. Seeing our natural chemistry, Julian let out a soft, cold laugh. Little brother, there are only 2 rooms here. There's no place for you to sleep. I'll take you to a hotel. Danny didn't care. I'll just sleep in Sis's room. The air fell into a weird silence. Damn it. The homewrecker is boldly entering the house. Not only calling her sis publicly but wanting to occupy wifey's fragrant, soft bed. As the official husband, even I haven't climbed into that bed yet. Who does he think he is? The audacity. I kindly let him stay, and he dares to plot against wifey. The enemy has invaded the base. What do I do? What do I do? Julian rested his chin on his palm, eyes landing on Danny before slowly turning to me. Vivian, what do you think of his proposal? Let him sleep in your bed? Julian raised an eyebrow, a barely there curve on his lips. Great. His heart is breaking inside, but his expression is still that punchable look. I felt weirdly annoyed. Danny had been studying abroad since childhood, so Julian didn't know him. I was going to explain the misunderstanding, but now I was too lazy to bother. I nodded. Yeah. If little brother wants to sleep there, let him. Do you have an objection? Julian choked on his words and let out a slow "oh." Water splashed in the bathroom. Julian napped on the sofa with his eyes closed. Halfway through his shower, Danny cheekily extended an arm dripping with water out the door. "Sis, hand me my clothes. I forgot to grab them." Before I could respond, Julian had already stood up, his tall shadow looming over me. "It's inconvenient for you. I'll do it." Blatant seduction. "Wifey, can't you see it? You damn snake, showing off such clumsy tricks. Do you think because the tiger doesn't roar, I'm a sick cat? Trying to use a honey trap? With your little chicken body, what is there to show off?" Turning to see Danny, his inner voice jammed. Danny had secretly loved the girl next door since childhood. He always focused on fitness. He was 6'3". The forearm resting on the doorframe was muscular and defined. I rarely saw Julian defeated. I couldn't help but smile. Although Danny talked trash, he knew his limits and chose to sleep in the living room. But early the next morning, he was gone. Probably couldn't wait to go see that neighbor girl. Strange. Did Julian leave for work that early today? While I was wondering, the bathroom door clicked open. Julian walked out wrapped only in a towel from the waist down. What kind of normal person takes a shower first thing in the morning? Is he actually sick? "Wifey, look, look. Look at my 8-pack abs. Look at my V-line. I even styled the water droplets on my hair so every drop lands right on your heart. Once you see mine, you can't look at that homewrecker anymore." Why isn't wifey smiling? Is she not satisfied with my body? Boo-hoo, are my 8-packs not enough for her eyes? How do I get that male mistress out of the house? Indeed, the current Julian was exquisitely flawless, down to his hair strands. He leaned against the door frame looking at me, his refined brows raised slightly. "Done eating?" I was indeed bewitched. My gaze followed his waistline slowly downward. "Can I touch?" Julian looked confused. "Touch what?" Then the tips of his ears turned bright red. "Wifey wants to touch me." "Touch me." Ah. Wildflowers are just passing travelers to wifey, only I am her true love. Out of 3,000 rivers, wifey only drinks from my scoop. So touching. Sob. I really want to put wifey's legs on my waist, I want to. Can't let wifey get me too easily. Let her eat but not see, chase but not catch. Rule 8 of the Ultimate Guide to Chasing Girls, hold back. Hold back. The prey is almost in the mouth. Hold back. What on earth is he reading every day? It's rotting his brain. I suppressed the throb in my eyes. Nothing. Go to work after you eat. Disappointment dyed Julian's eyes. He sat down next to me. Actually, just one touch. Isn't impossible. Then. I pressed my palm directly onto him. And gave a squeeze. When will it be Valentine's Day? I want to drag wifey to City Hall. I want to be ravished by wifey. I want to go feral on wifey. If I keep suppressing this, I'm going to XX explode. Vivian won't run away, right? She's definitely different from my mom's sob. No, wait. Vivian has had a change of heart before. Years ago, I couldn't hold back and let her hold my hand, and she immediately lost interest. It took me being cold to her for a long time before she came back to chase me. I couldn't hold it back. I smiled until my eyes curved. I never knew he was this cute before. But I suddenly understood why he kept his distance from me. It turns out he's obsessed with getting the marriage license first. Julian comes from a single-parent family. His dad, Jonathan Lynn, had a one-night stand with a capital socialite princess, resulting in Julian. The elite circle didn't acknowledge Jonathan's status. Even with a child, they wouldn't let their daughter marry him. They gave Jonathan $20 million as a breakup fee. Later, the princess felt the kid wasn't well behaved. In a fit of temper, she threw the child to Jonathan too, along with another $20 million for child support. Jonathan had startup capital, and he had a child. He raised Julian single-handedly and built a company from scratch. For an ordinary person, he was a winner in life. Unfortunately, he was a love-sick fool. He cried all day long and instilled in Julian from a young age. Men who don't respect themselves are trash. Don't believe women no matter how beautifully they speak. Once they pull up their pants, they don't know you anymore. Vivian is a good kid, but you must secure that marriage certificate tightly in your hand. Otherwise, when you're eaten clean and wiped dry, then abandoned, you'll have nowhere to cry. Understand? Julian, never follow your dad's path. Look at me, I waited until I was over 40, and your mom still won't give me a title. I follow her around ambiguously, and everyone outside says I'm her boy toy. Sob sob. So, Julian, you're afraid I'll pull up my pants and not recognize you? Throw you away? I shook my head helplessly. Seriously, what is Jonathan teaching him every day? Forcing his own trauma onto his son. Thanks a lot, Dad. However, I have issues too. I am obsessed with looks. Although I had a crush on Julian for 10 years, during that process, my heart did wander. Back then, I chased Julian simply because he was handsome. Danny's crush on the neighbor girl was pure and sweet, filled with caution. Mine was omnipresent. Because I had the power of money, I was bold. When Julian had a soccer match, I bought every cold soda from the surrounding shops and distributed them on the field. When Julian had exams, I bought out every 2 pencil in the school store and distributed them to every student except him. When he found me, I waved my hand grandly and gave him 52 of them. There were countless similar incidents. I had money, so I made my existence known to the max. But after I spent my entire small treasury, Julian still rarely spoke to me. It felt like I had done a lot of useless work. I couldn't hang myself on one crooked tree. I was young and arrogant. In a fit of pique, I set my sights on a new transfer student. I stopped licking Julian's boots and switched targets. But I didn't expect the transfer student's peak season to be so short. After just 1 year, that transfer student grew up ugly. Looking back at Julian, handsome from childhood to adulthood. His peak season was terrifyingly long. He was a beauty worth a lifetime investment. Counting my replenished treasury, I targeted Julian again. At that time, he saw me and made a sarcastic remark. "Miss Chen, are you done playing hard to get? A year later, and you've circled back?" I wanted to get angry. But looking at his face, the fire died. Later, chasing him became a habit, etched into my bones. My thoughts refused to move an inch from him. But all I could do was chase him, too proud to say the words "I like you." Most teenage crushes end without a result. After graduation, he chose to go abroad for further studies, while I stayed in the country, following a professor to root myself in a lab. We met again thanks to a business collaboration between the Chen and Lin families. By then, Julian had been practicing abstinence for years. With prayer beads on his wrist, he was already the famous stoic prince of the capital. At the dinner table, he sat next to Jonathan, remaining silent. But the adults kept saying we were a good match, that we got along. I kept my head down and ate. The harder I chased back then, the more embarrassing it felt now. Although Julian had become even more handsome and excellent, his aura even more covetable, I cared about my dignity now. The whole table was polite. Julian acted like an outsider. He cut his steak into small pieces, then pushed the plate in front of me, saying lightly, "Eat." I froze, looking at the steak, my brain short-circuiting. I had slightly scraped my hand that day. To heal faster for my experiments, I couldn't use force. The family was busy talking, only he noticed. The aroma of the steak melted on my tongue. Damn it, I couldn't help it. "Julian, you started it this time." After returning home, I, a woman single since birth, proposed a marriage alliance with the Lin family to my dad. Dad was naturally happy to see it happen. Actually, I was prepared for Julian to reject me, for me to give up for the third time and let my heart die completely. But I didn't expect Julian to agree. Engagement, cohabitation, cultivating feelings. All in one go. My thoughts returned, and I still felt it was incredible. How could such a cold, noble, unsmiling beauty have so much inner drama? I cupped Julian's face and said seriously, word by word. Julian Lin, I like you. I've liked you for 10 years. Julian was pressed against the chair back by me. Even though the tips of his ears were red enough to bleed, he turned his head away and said indifferently. I know. Dude, I said I like you. And your reaction. Is this flat? I was about to get angry when I heard fireworks exploding in Julian's heart. I waited over 10 years. Wifey finally said she likes me with her own mouth. I want to hold Wifey and play games all day. I want to bury myself in Wifey's arms. I want to pin Wifey on the sofa and kiss her. Only his expression remained stoic. Inside, a boiling kettle, outside, an iceberg. I scoffed out loud. Thinking this, my hand started to wander. Julian pushed me away subtly. Don't mess around. Great. Pushed away again. Looks like I need to give Julian some love education, otherwise when will I ever get to seal the deal? I gritted my teeth. Just then, Danny barged recklessly into the room. Sis, what's a good gift for a girl for Valentine's Day? Give me some tips. Julian's body went stiff. He instinctively held my waist. I suddenly lunged into his arms, pressing us closer. Danny was already backing out. I see nothing, I see nothing, I see nothing. Young couple, broad daylight, door unlocked. You guys are wild. Julian froze completely. His inner thoughts were full of dirty talk, but he had absolutely no practical experience. His face flushed red with blood. I wrapped my arms around his neck. Hubby, aren't you curious who he is? Calling me hubby while asking me to accept a boy toy? Why is my life so bitter? Sob sob. I'm just a little cabbage in the field. No one loved me when I was small, no one picks me when I'm grown. Finally got a wifey, but wifey's heart holds someone else. Julian moved his hands, holding my waist to create distance between us. He raised his brows slightly. When he smiled, it seemed to bewitch the soul. Vivian, tell me then. Who is he? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Why can she bring a strange man home overnight like nobody's watching? And not even an explanation afterwards. I have dignity too, okay? Unless wifey immediately cuts ties with him right now and never contacts him again. Otherwise, she will never coax me back. Humph. I suddenly felt playful. Kiss me, and I'll tell you. Dad, you taught me self-respect and self-love since I was little, but I think I'm going to break. I really want to know who that green tea home wrecker is. Sob sob. Taking a step back, Vivian is my wife. One kiss isn't too much, right? Maybe even something more excessive. He lowered his eyes. A water droplet from his hair rolled down his chest. His long fingers gripped the prayer beads on his wrist tightly, fingertips turning white from the force. Clearly, the internal struggle was intense. I couldn't help licking my dry lips. Looking at his cold side profile, listening to his inner conflict. He was really cute. Suddenly, I really wanted to kiss him. So I did. I cupped his face, gave him a quick peck on the lips, and pulled back. His face was completely red. Before he could react, he crushed the prayer beads in his grip. He yanked them off and threw them aside. The beads hit the floor with a thud that seemed to hit my heart. Julian's large palm supported the back of my neck. He leaned in, turning from guest to host. Outside the door, Danny was knocking. Sis, are you guys done? Can I come in and charge my phone? Julian lifted me up and locked the door. Sis. I poked my head out from Julian's arms. Brat, get lost. Julian finally got stimulated enough to crack open his shell. Can't you read the room? The world went quiet. Julian grabbed my hand and placed it on his back. Vivian, so who is he? I don't want to bully you. Tell me, okay? Wifey? He lowered his voice for the last word. His warm breath brushed over my heart. I felt like a melting cupcake. I just wanted to stick to him. He calls me sis. Are you stupid? Sister. Then tell me, am I stupid? How did he suddenly get so smooth? The next day, Julian acted like nothing had happened. Cooking, cleaning. His expression was extremely satisfied. He looked refreshed. But inside, he was cheering and dancing. Wifey's nightgown last night looked very easy to rip. One isn't enough, not enough, not enough. On Valentine's Day, I'll buy wifey 10 more, hee hee. I want to see my beautiful wifey's expression then too. How? Should I buy a big mirror? Yes, this idea is viable. I am truly a genius, truly wifey's big treasure. I looked at him sluggishly. He caught my gaze perfectly. Vivian, what's wrong? Boo-hoo, why does wifey look unhappy? Was my technique bad yesterday? Should I go study up now, regroup, and try again? No, once isn't enough. I'll just lightly reward myself 7 times. I'm unhappy, so you reward yourself? Soon, he seemed to think of something else. Boo-hoo, I failed the test yesterday. Will wifey pull up her pants and not want me anymore? Will I follow in Dad's footsteps? No. Will she think I have no self-respect, no male virtue, and heartlessly abandon me? After all, Dad was abandoned like that, and humiliated by Mom's family. Don't do this. I wrapped my blanket tighter and waved him over. Julian, I don't think I've heard you say it. Say what? Do you like me? He froze. What? Do you like me or not? I do. Getting the answer I wanted, I rubbed my sore waist and gently kissed his thin lips. That was enough. Julian, let's go get the license tomorrow. He froze again. Didn't wifey say get the license on Valentine's Day? What is this? Did she regret it? Am I going to become an abandoned rich husband, ending up like Dad? Damn. No. There's no such thing, sleeping with me and not taking responsibility. When will his inner drama tone down? I pinched his face playfully. After midnight tonight, it's technically the 20th. Valentine's Day. Don't you think we should line up early? He frowned and thought, pulling my hand so our fingers touched gently. After a while, he said, okay. But inside, he exploded again. Like a boiling kettle. He hugged me, and I thought he would fall asleep. But nope. Only 8 hours until City Hall opens. What time should I wake up tomorrow? Can't sleep, can't sleep. I want to go squat at the City Hall entrance right now, whimper. But wifey is so tired during the day, so hardworking. Wifey definitely can't walk right now, she needs rest. Dad was abandoned back then, definitely because he couldn't perform. That negative example. I listened to his words for 20 years for nothing. Sob, sob. I'm going to go mock him later. He has no wife, but I do. Humph. I wanted to sleep, but I wanted to listen. What do I do? His heartbeat made me incredibly safe. It was like a lullaby. I don't remember when I fell asleep. The next day, I was woken up by a string of rapid kisses. I thought it was a mosquito and slapped it away. Smack. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Julian holding his cheek aggrievedly. It hurts. I want another one. Kinda felt good. What's happening to me? Okay then. When taking the ID photos, the staff looked at the slap mark on Julian's face, covering their mouths and looking back and forth between us. When stamping the seal, they asked one more time, "Are you two really ready?" Julian gripped my hand tight. "Ready. Oh yeah. Starting today, I am no longer a stray dog with no one to feed me. Only Dad is left as a stray dog in that house. You're going to have a daughter-in-law, and you're losing a son. You're still Mom's lover yourself. So useless. I'll take wifey home to show off later, hee hee. That's your dad. That's harsh." The affair between Jonathan Lynn and the Capital Princess was a huge scandal back then, and it was the deepest scar in Jonathan's heart. Julian really knows how to stab his old man in the heart. Filial piety at its finest. Eventually, we went to my house first. It started pouring rain in the afternoon. Julian and I returned home under an umbrella, only to see a tall figure standing in the rain at the gate. "Danny? What is he doing?" The housekeeper took our gift boxes and said, "Danny likes Joanne from next door. Vivian, you know that, right? Recently those two have been fighting like crazy. So, he's staging a grand gesture to win his wife back." Joanne was my neighbor. She's the same age as me, and we've always been good friends. Later, for some reason, Danny fell in love with her. After going back and forth, the 5 or 6 year age gap scared Joanne, so she stopped coming over. Joanne worried about delaying Danny's future, so she faked her social death and disappeared. Before she died socially, her biggest wish was to study in Germany. During that time, Danny cried until he couldn't breathe. Disheartened, he went to Germany, claiming he was inheriting his beloved's dream. But as soon as he left, Joanne came back to life. She even proclaimed that her intended partner must be a returnee from Germany. Danny wasn't going to graduate originally. But amazingly, 4 years later, Danny actually graduated. As soon as he came back, the house got lively. Joanne was upstairs. "Leave. We aren't suitable. You walk your open road, I'll cross my wooden bridge. We aren't in the same boat. Stop persisting." Danny was downstairs. "Joanne, you better not come downstairs for the rest of your life. Joanne, the age gap between us is too big, it's a chasm we can never cross. Danny, give up. You'll meet someone better." "Danny, what nonsense are you talking about? That's not what you said when you kissed me last time." Joanne went quiet. "What is this forced romance novel plot?" Julian put his arm around my waist and led me into the room. "Boys. Chasing someone requires effort. It's fine. A little rain won't make him sick. Damn it, for making me angry. For pissing me off. Stupid brother, making me jealous over my own wife. You deserve this today. You deserve to overthink. You handle playing with other people's feelings so well, but look at your own love life, it's life or death. Deserved. Stinking brother. Me, you seem very happy." Julian coughed lightly. "No, I'm just emotional. I feel men should take initiative. Sitting and waiting isn't the way." Me, true. Those two are probably hugging by now. Young people are great, daring to love and hate. Unlike me, who ended up with a mute jar. If I hadn't heard Julian's thoughts, I really would have thought he didn't like me. After Danny and Joanne got their happy ending, my parents were beaming. The major events for both children were settled. During the family dinner, our family was joyous. Jonathan Lynn would sigh every time he picked up a piece of meat, but no one paid attention to him. I was about to speak up when Julian stopped me. "It's fine. Eat. Don't pay attention to him, don't pay attention. Don't talk to him. Wifey, you don't know, if you talk to him, he can hold you hostage all day talking about his little history with Mom. Couldn't even chase Mom down, standing there just being a lover. Useless. Mom hasn't married for over 20 years just to give him a chance. The little old man is stupid and doesn't seize the opportunity. Deserves no title. deserves to be forever alone. Filial piety truly is strong. Joanne and I were chatting and laughing together. Over there, Julian was carrying a lady's purse, chatting casually with a long-haired beauty next to him. He raised an eyebrow when he saw me. "Vivian, this is Annie. We grew up together." Thinking of Jessica from last time, I subconsciously tightened my grip on my coffee. "You have a brother, I have a cousin." Humph. The vinegar I drank back then, you have to drink it all back. "Wifey, wifey, I love you, you definitely love me too, right? Can wifey please be jealous for me?" Then fiercely scold Annie. Then make her stay away from me? Domineering wife spoils her little husband. So exciting. Or will wifey punish me tonight? Ravish me? So anticipating, so much like. "Annie, hurry up, give your sister-in-law a provocative look. Give her a little sense of crisis." "Julian, how many more surprises do you have?" Over there, Annie threw a rather disgusted look at Julian. Then she joined the tea party with me and Joanne. Julian was in shambles. Damn. Does wifey not love me anymore? Why can she laugh and talk with my rival? Why isn't she jealous? Why isn't she fighting Annie for me? Why won't she fight for me? My lips twitched slightly, my face showing a bit of helplessness. "Annie, sister-in-law, what's wrong?" I waved my hand. "Nothing." That night, I thought about it and decided to satisfy Julian's psychology. Playing with the lines on his palm, I spoke with a sour tone. "That secretary. Do you remember her?" "Julian, who?" "Jessica. Fired long ago." "Don't remember." I curved my lips. Julian saw through my thoughts, flipped me over, and gently kissed the tip of my nose. "Vivian Chen, I like you. It's always been you." I froze. In the countless nights that followed, that sentence exploded like fireworks in my heart. While cleaning, I found an empty soda bottle in a drawer under the bed. And 2 pencils. One of them was sharpened and slightly used. He had kept them all. Jonathan Lin invited me for tea one afternoon. He tore open the tea cake, rinsed the tea, and brewed it until only the essential fragrance remained. He handed me a cup. "Vivian, taste it. Very bitter." I frowned. But after the bitterness, it was all sweetness. He sighed. "Julian, that child, isn't good with words. We adults can tell he likes you. He's just too shy in his actions and speech. Vivian, if you ever feel wronged or encounter any issues in the future, just speak up. He doesn't dare bully you." He sounded very absolute. I was surprised. "Why?" "Because that brat has been chasing behind you for many years too." Saying that, Jonathan handed me a notebook. It was densely packed with records of bits and pieces about Julian and me. The last few pages were new, writing about our recent interactions. Flipping through the past, I finally found 2 places. One was when we were 12. Julian asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up. I said I wanted to earn lots of money. Money loves me, I love money. I wanted to make the Chen family business big and strong. The other was after high school graduation. He chose to go abroad for finance and asked if I wanted to go together. But I had already applied to the National Defense University. Young ideals change constantly with time. You never know the final choice until the end. It's just that on this road, I forgot to pull him along. We ended up running in opposite directions. Damn. Why did he never tell me? While we were on our honeymoon, Jonathan Lin finally got married. The bride was precisely that capital princess from years ago, only the princess had long since grown into a top business mogul. Jonathan, old as he was, finally married up. This twilight romance finally had a happy ending. It's just that Julian kept chattering in my ear. Honeymoon. Marriage honeymoon. Once in a lifetime, ah. I must give wifey an unforgettable trip. How many times should I reward myself tonight? Maybe let wifey take the lead this time. Wifey on top. I choose to be the object of wifey's ravishing. Suddenly, looking at Julian's empty wrist, something seemed missing. You threw your prayer beads away. Do you want to buy another string? Julian glanced lightly at his wrist and said coolly, no need. The things of the past cannot be chased. Hee hee. I'm a little cabbage with a wife now. I won't wear those beads anymore. Bad luck. I will absolutely never tell wifey that I wore those things to hold back from kissing and hugging her. It would damage my image as a self-disciplined, model husband too much. Every time wifey seduced me, I recited the Heart Sutra in my head. I can recite it backwards now. Fam, who understands me? Sometimes I really feel that hearing his thoughts might be some kind of arrangement from heaven. Otherwise, with his stubborn temper, even in a romance novel, we would have missed each other 1,000 times.